Welcome to Untold Shocking History Channel. Make sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out more videos like this one.
A short-line railroad train in Boise, Idaho, between 1880 and 1900. This railroad was a key part of transportation in the western United States, helping connect small towns and boost economic growth. Two Apache women sitting around a campfire in 1903. They wear traditional clothing of the era and carry expressions of serenity and wisdom. A man panning for gold in 1871 in the United States. He uses a wooden box called a cradle to separate precious minerals like gold from sand and gravel. A pioneer cabin in Calaveras Big Trees State Park, California, around 1886. The simple wooden structure provided shelter for families exploring the area. A young Native American and his dog in Utah, 1874. He wears bead necklaces and holds a bow, indicating traditional hunting skills and indigenous culture. The D. Dunn family, on their land in Custer County, Nebraska, 1886. The family is standing in front of a large white tent, showing the first stage of settling the land. Geyser Springs in Sonoma County, California, around 1880. The site was known for its natural hot springs, which were popular among visitors seeking leisure and health benefits. A miner's cabin in the Sierra Nevada mountains, around 1866. Built from wooden logs, it served as housing for the region's mine workers. The area was bustling, with people extracting valuable minerals in search of opportunity. A Wells Fargo Express Company treasure wagon with guards in South Dakota, 1890. The wagon transported valuable items like gold and money, aiding local trade and the economy. Gold washing and panning in Rockerville, Dakota, in 1889. Men are working with gold pans and sieves to separate gold from rocks and sand. This mining technique was common during the gold rush, drawing many people seeking opportunities. A Native American family in front of an adobe building in California around 1880. The adobe structure, made from clay and straw, was common in the region and provided protection from the elements. A railroad bridge over the Kansas River built in 1867. The bridge connected different regions and was essential for transporting passengers and freight. Cowboys in Nebraska, possibly from Round Valley in Custer County, in 1888. They are mounted on horses in a corral, ready to work cattle. San Miguel Church in Santa Fe, New Mexico, in 1873. Considered one of the oldest buildings in the United States, it was founded around 1610. Boot & Co. General Store in Colorado between the late 19th century and early 20th century. The store sold groceries, clothing, and tools to local residents and travelers. The McLaughlin Stagecoach at a school picnic and birthday party at Jack Pearl's Ranch around the 1880s. The group is gathered in front of a large, horse-drawn wagon, surrounded by wooden houses. Mormon migrants traveling in a covered wagon in the late 19th century. They moved seeking religious freedom and new land for their families. This movement helped settle the western United States, especially Utah and neighboring areas. Fort Garland, Colorado, around 1874. The fort was built to protect settlers and trade routes in the region. Adobe structures were common, providing insulation from the climate. A.J. Smith, a surveyor, photographed by William Henry Jackson during the Hayden expedition around 1871. He is on horseback, holding equipment used to map the western United States. Sherman Station in Albany County, Wyoming. It was an important stopover point for travelers and traders during the westward expansion of the United States. Men hobbling horses in a camp around 1906. They used ropes to limit the animals' movement, ensuring safety at the site. A miner prospecting for gold in Fairplay, Colorado, in the early 1900s. He uses a gold pan to separate gold from sand, a common technique at the time. His dog stands by, showing the close bond between man and animal. A group of miners during the California Gold Rush around 1850. They pose for the photograph wearing rugged clothing and holding work tools. A Crow delegation in 1872. Crow tribe leaders and representatives traveled for meetings with government officials. The photo shows men and women wearing traditional clothing with feathers and bead necklaces alongside Western-style attire. Cowboys in Converse County, Wyoming, between 1870 and 1890. They are gathered at a ranch or camp, ready for cattle work. Wearing hats and leather clothing was common to protect from sun and wind. J.W. Swartz Saloon in Charleston, Arizona, in 1885. It was a gathering place for locals and travelers in the region, offering drinks, food, and entertainment. A group of Sioux Native Americans between the 1880s and 1890s. They are gathered in an open field with horses and taipas in the background. Traditional attire includes headdresses, bead necklaces, and fringed clothing. The Orient Saloon in Bisbee, Arizona, around 1900. Men play Faro, a popular card game, in the midst of a busy saloon. Medicinal pine at a cavalry unit in Fort Custer, Montana, around 1885. Medicinal pine was used to treat wounds and illnesses, demonstrating knowledge of local plants. A prospector with his pack mule around 1903. The man carries a rifle and surveys the landscape while the animal hauls mining equipment. Members of a scouting expedition at Red Buttes, Wyoming, in 1870. They are seated or standing, wearing wide-brimmed hats and travel clothes, holding surveying equipment. The Hallmont family in front of a two-story sod house in Custer County, Nebraska, around 1886. These homes were built with compressed earth blocks, common on the prairie due to scarce timber. The Eagle Saloon in Renton, Washington, around 1900. Men are gathered in front of the wooden building which housed the saloon and a restaurant. Two hunters in Fort Pierre, South Dakota, in 1903. They stand beside a fallen bison, with horses carrying hunting gear. A freight train in Skagway, Alaska, around 1897. Men with pack mules loaded with supplies cross the muddy trail surrounded by mountains. This route was used by prospectors and traders during the Klondike Gold Rush. The first blacksmith shop in Guthrie, Oklahoma, around 1889. Two men work outdoors with simple tools and an improvised forge. a street scene in Webster, Kansas, in the early 1900s. The dirt road is flanked by wooden buildings, including stables and small shops. Horse-drawn wagons are parked in front of the buildings, indicating the common use of animal transportation. A group gathered in Prescott, Arizona, in 1871. They are outdoors, wearing typical period clothing with hats and boots. Prescott was an important base for explorers and travelers during the westward expansion. A group of people preparing to head to Caribou, Beaver City, Alaska, in 1899. They are gathered outdoors with gear and supplies for the journey. A freight train in Skagway, Alaska, around 1897. Men with pack mules loaded with supplies cross the muddy trail surrounded by mountains. This route was used by prospectors and traders during the Klondike Gold Rush. A group of Coyotero Apaches and their agent at Camp Apache, Arizona, in 1873. They are gathered outdoors wearing traditional clothing and blankets, while the agent wears Western attire. An Apache family at their camp, photographed between 1890 and 1909. They live in straw and canvas shelters, common among native groups of the time. Lumberjacks with a large felled sequoia tree in California around 1884. The work required skill and strength, as it was essential for supplying the construction industry. The sequoia is one of the largest trees in the world, common in West Coast forests. A log train carrying large sequoia logs in California around 1884. The sequoias were felled and cut into enormous logs for construction use. William A. Pinkerton, center, seated, and railroad special agents Pat Connell, left, and Sam Finley, right. Pinkerton led the famous Pinkerton Detective Agency, known for protecting trains and investigating crimes. The Cheyenne-Omaha Wow Dance in Montana around 1891. The event brought tribe members together for celebrations, ceremonies, and rituals. It was an opportunity to strengthen cultural and community bonds. The 9 registers in Orlando, Oklahoma Territory, where 36,000 people registered on September 15, 1893. The site was set up for the Land Run event when settlers raced to claim property. A branding and cattle driving scene at the Cheyenne River between 1887 and 1892. Men on horseback use ropes to handle cattle by the riverbank. These activities were common on ranches and helped keep the herd under control.